Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about horrific visions, and more specifically we're going to talk about horrific visions in 11.1.5 and all of the mounts you can obtain from this game mode, which is coming on May 20th and 21st depending on your region. But before we jump into all of that, guys, I do want to give a massive thank you to everyone over on the Patreon. Just started posting over there fairly regularly, so if you want to support me over on Patreon, I'll leave a link down below. Right, so yes, horrific visions are back in 11.1.5, or several weeks after 11.1.5, and with this new system there's not a ton of changes in regards to how they work, but with the new horrific visions they have added a ton of new mounts, and you can still get the original mounts from 8.3. So in this video we're going to go through every single mount that you can obtain through this system once it returns on May 20th or 21st depending on your region. So let's just jump into it. So let's start with the older mounts from 8.3. Now I have put timestamps in the description so you should be able to skip around, so if you have all of the 8.3 mounts you could jump right over to the section about the new mounts, but let's talk about the old one. So the first one is the Wicked Swarmer. This previously was purchased from Rathian, and in the new horrific visions this is actually purchased from Tori for 20,000 displaced corrupted mementos. Now this is a new currency which is linked to the new horrific visions, and it is warbound. I'm going to mention it quite a few times here, but yeah, this is a warbound currency that you do obtain from the new horrific visions. It's not the old currency you used to get. Another legendary mount from horrific visions is the Mail Muncher. Yes, the Mail Muncher is returning in 11.1.5. This mount is obtained by killing the rare mob, the Mail Muncher, in Stormwind or Orgrimmar. You just kind of run around, and if you see a mailbox, try and open it, and you get a chance of potentially the Mail Muncher spawning out. Once you kill that Mail Muncher, it will drop the mount. Now, this is a mount that people ask tons about in the comments of my horrific vision overview video, but yes, the Mail Muncher will be dropping from these new ones, but if you already have it, you don't need to worry too much about that. The final one is an achievement mount. This is the Black Serpent of Ny'alothan. This is obtained by completing a 5-mask run in Orgrimmar and Stormwind. So yeah, that's pretty easy to do. The masks come pretty quickly. I'm not going to go through all of the nuance of collecting masks and things like that, but yeah, once you've obtained 5 masks and you do a full run of both the versions of horrific visions, you will get the Black Serpent of Ny'alothan. But these are not new mounts. These are mounts that you potentially would have got in 8.3 or after that with just random farming. But yeah, let's get into the more important part, and that is the brand new mounts of 11.1.5. So the first one is a very simple mount. This is the Corruption of the Aspects mount, which is a Void kind of Slither Drake type thing. We have seen a Void Slither Drake before, but this is slightly different. This is just purchased from Tori for 40,000 displaced corrupted mementos. Now, there was a thing on the PTR where you did need to complete the talent tree to be able to purchase any of the cosmetics. I'm not sure if this is still a thing, but if it is still a thing, you will need to wait 2 weeks before being able to purchase it, but you will be able to build up all that currency beforehand. But yeah, you just purchase that from Tori in the kind of horrific vision area in Dornagol. So let's go into mounts that you actually obtain from the visions themselves. Let's start with a big one, the Voidfire Deathcycle. Yes, this is a recolor of the Incognito mount, or the mount from Mountain Dew. This is, yeah, the purple variant of that mount, and it does come from horrific visions, and it really isn't too bad to get. So to start acquiring this mount, you need to have at least 1 mask unlocked, which you could just get from clearing the horrific visions. Once you have that mask, you need to wait for the Stormwind version of horrific visions to pop up. These rotate weekly, so you might need to wait a week before doing this, but once Stormwind's up, you want to head into the horrific vision of Stormwind, activate 1 mask, and head over to the Dwarven District. Over in the Dwarven District, you will find the Voidfire Deathcycle. What you want to do here is just simply kill it and its rider, and you'll get kind of a transparent version spawn, and you want to just interact with that. And once you've done that, just complete the vision, and once you come out of the vision, you should see a kind of transparent version of the Deathcycle over in the horrific vision area in Dornagol, and this means that we can start working on the mount. So from here, we need to head to the auction house or craft a bunch of items. Now, I will leave a list of these in the description below, but there is a few items we need here. Most of them are crafted through engineering. So we need 1 recalibrated safety switch. This is at rank 3. We need 3 whimsical wiring at rank 3. We need 1 storm touch weapon wrap at rank 3. We need 1 convincingly realistic jumper cables at rank 3. We need 1 refulgent crystal at rank 3. We need 5 Weavercloth Spellthread. You're also going to need 12 entropy enhancers at rank 3. And then the other item we need is one Irresistible red button. Now, this is BOP, so you will need to do a crafting order for this or be an engineer to be able to craft it, which is a bit annoying. I don't know if they're going to change that, but yeah, the Irresistible red button is probably going to be a bit of an annoying part of getting those items, but the rest of them aren't too expensive and you can just purchase them on the auction house. I'd probably do that now if you are watching this before they come out, because I feel like the prices are going to go up. But yeah, you need those items. I'll leave them in the description below, so you can just copy and paste them into the auction house. After that, we need to head to the Vale of the Eternal Blossom and make sure it's the non-Black Empire version. We need to head just outside Siege of Orgrimmar to Big Ketch. Now, from this goblin, you need to buy a couple things. You need to buy 4 Goblin Machine Pistons for 1,000 gold each, and you need to buy 1 Elementium Plated Exhaust Pipe. Now, I believe originally these were part of the Mechanohog mount back in Wrath of the Lich King, but yeah, you're going to be reusing these. You can purchase them on the auction house if you really want to be lazy, but obviously they're going to be a little bit more expensive. So after we've have all those things, it's time to jump back into Horrific Visions, and we're going to need different parts of this bike to put it all together and create the mount. Now, all of these runs need to be done with at least 1 mask active. You can do more than 1 if you want, but 1 mask is all you need to get all of these items. So the first item we're going to need is the engine. This is the Void Forged Inline 4 engine, and this is just simply looted inside the engineering shop in the drag in the Vision of Orgrimmar. So you just head over there, and it's just on the table there. You just right click it, and that will give you the engine. While you're in that Vision of Orgrimmar, make sure you're completing the Valley of Honor, the Rexar area. Once you've completed that, at the end of your run inside the chest, you should be able to get the seat, the Boarhide Deathcycle seat. Next up, we're going to need the exhaust. This is the Deathcycle exhaust system. This is actually just inside the Vision of Stormwind, outside the auction house in the trade district. You just see it on the floor there. You can right click it, and that'll give you the exhaust. While also in that Vision of Stormwind, make sure you're completing the Old Town area, because at the end of the run from that chest, you should be able to get the handlebars, the Twisted Skull Scythe handlebars. While also on that run, make sure you're completing the Mage Quarter as well. This will give you the battery, the Pulsing Void Crystal. Next up, we're going to need the wheels. One of these comes from the Dwarven District with 1 mask active, and the other wheel comes from the Valley of Spirits in a Vision of Orgrimmar. Now, what you'll notice about these different parts is that they take items to complete them, which is why we went to the auction house and things. Now, for the wheels specifically, the 2 bits you're going to need from these are actually also from Horrific Visions. So you basically need to complete the Trade District with 1 mask active and the Drag with 1 mask active. Basically, any run that you do, just make sure you're just completing the whole thing, because that'll cover most of your bases for this. So once you have all the different parts of the bike, all the different things from the auction house and whatnot, just right click all of the items and combine them into different bits like the exhaust, the seat, the battery, and everything like that. Head over to the mount in Dornagal, interact with it, and then add all of those parts to it. Doing all of that will give you the mount. So it's actually not super complicated. It will take a little bit of gold and a little bit of time, but for the most part, this is very, very obtainable in literally 2 weeks, because you will need to have both versions up at one point. So yeah, there you go. That's the Voidfire Deathcycle. Now that's probably the most complicated one, so let's get into some of the more easy ones. So the Void Scarred Gryphon. This is a drop from the Void Scarred Gryphon in the Vision of Stormwind. Now for this one, you will need to purchase different types of food. So at the auction house, or you can cook it, you will need to get 1 fresh fillet, 1 chopped myco bloom, 1 spiced meat stock, and 1 portion steak. Now you're only going to use 1 of these, but just purchase them anyway. They're going to be super cheap. After that, you want to head into a Vision of Stormwind with 3 masks active, clear the trade district, and head over to where the Flight Master is. Now on the bottom of the stairs, you'll see a claw-marked bowl, and on the stairs, you'll see a ripped note. Now when you interact with the ripped note, it will say something different depending on what food the Gryphon wants. And basically, depending on what this note says, is what you place in the bowl. So if it says that it wants to eat fish, you place the fresh fillet down. If it says it wants to eat fungus, you place the chopped myco bloom. If it says that it wants to eat meat that's been spiced, you place the spiced meat stock. And if it says that it only wants to eat steak, you place the portion steak, which is why we bought all the items, because it is RNG on what is required. Once you place the correct food, you want to interact with it again, shake the bowl, and then the Void Scarred Gryphon will fly down. You kill the Void Scarred Gryphon, and it will drop the mount. The next mount we're going to talk about is the Void Forged Stallion. This is dropped from the Void Forged Stallion in the Vision of Stormwind. For this one, all you got to do is have 1 mask active and head into a Vision of Stormwind. Now, all around the Vision of Stormwind will be 4 horseshoes, and I'll leave the coordinates down below, but all of them are just on the floor, and you want to click all 4 of them. You'll see how many you have from a buff in the top right of your screen. Now, once you have all 4, you want to head over to the forge in the Dwarven District, and then select Melt the Horseshoes. Doing this will spawn the Void Forged Stallion. You kill that and loot the mount. Our next mount is the Void Scarred Pack Mother. This is dropped from the Void Scarred Pack Mother in the Vision of Orgrimmar. Now, this one's super simple. All you have to do is enter a Vision of Orgrimmar with 1 mask active. Once you're in there, you need to click certain things to get this wolf to spawn. The first one is the Bag of Wolf Tack. This is located in the Valley of Wisdom. I will leave coordinates down below. After that, you want to head over to the Valley of Honor inside the auction house and click the Worn Wolf Saddle. And then once you've done all that, you want to head over to the drag and click the Wolf Skin Rug on the floor. Clicking this will spawn the Void Scarred Wolf, and then you simply just kill that and loot the mount. Our next mount is the Void Scarred Windrider. This is dropped from the Void Scarred Windrider in the Vision of Orgrimmar. So this one, you're going to need 3 masks active, and you need to enter the Vision of Orgrimmar. You need to clear the Valley of Wisdom area, and then head over to the elevator to the top of Orgrimmar. Once you're up there, you just need to kill the waves of wyverns, which will spawn, and then eventually a wyvern matriarch will spawn, and then you kill that, and then you'll be able to loot the Void Scarred Windrider, which is pretty easy to get. Our final drop mount is the Nesting Swarmite. Now, this has definite Male Muncher flashbacks. So inside either the Vision of Stormwind or Orgrimmar, there are actually trash piles all around. There are 5 in total in each of them, and they spawn in the exact same place each time, in these locations in Stormwind and these locations in Orgrimmar. Now, what you want to do here is just interact with the trash pile and hope that the Nesting Swarmite spawns. Yep. It's the Male Muncher again. So yeah, just keep clicking those trash piles, hoping the Nesting Swarmite spawns. Once it does, you simply just kill it and loot the mount. Our next mount is actually crafted by jewel crafters. I believe you could buy it on the auction house or set it as a crafting order, but if you're a jewel crafter, this is how you craft it and obtain the recipe. The recipe is dropped from Big Catch in the Vision of Orgrimmar. Over in the engineering area, this is actually an 100% drop rate as well, which is great. So once you have the recipe, you can learn it, and then you need to obtain some items. Now, to craft this, you need a Void-bound Orb of Mystery. This is actually looted from Big Catch in the Vision of Orgrimmar, so yeah, you should already have one of those. Then you're going to need unusual gems. These are actually just obtained in the Vision of Stormwind after completing the Old Town Wing in the chest. You will need 1 mask for that. You're also going to need 20 Shadow Fused Onyxes. These come from both versions of Visions with simply just 1 mask active, so once you're doing 1 mask runs, these should just start dropping from the chest at the end. And then the final item you need is Black Blood Infused Bars. You're going to need 4 of these. One of these is located in the Dwarven District of the Vision of Stormwind, and the other is in the Valley of Wisdom. Now, it seems like you can only pick up 1 per run, so just run it 4 times, and then you should be able to get all 4 that you need. Once you have all of those, you can simply just craft the mount, and then you have the Void Crystal Panther. Our final mount for Horrific Visions in 11.1.5 is the Ny'alothan Shadow Worm. This is obtained from the achievement Mastering the Visions, and this is super hard. What you got to do here is complete all of the objectives with 8 masks active in Stormwind and Orgrimmar. And yeah, 8 masks are no joke. They are seriously, seriously hard runs to do. So yeah, once you've completed all the objectives in both versions with 8 masks runs, you will get the Ny'alothan Shadow Worm mount. But yeah, there you go, guys. That is all of the new and old mounts you can obtain from Horrific Visions in 11.1.5. If you have any tips and tricks, please do leave them in the comments below and let me know your favorite mount from Horrific Visions. I'm super excited to jump into them once again and get all of these mounts. Yeah, I think it's really great that they have added new things to this existing system in 11.1.5. But guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon and I'm on Twitter, Mr. GMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And also I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. I'm going to see you stream World of Warcraft, War Within, 11.1.7 PTR, all that good stuff, guys. Over on twitch.tv/MrGM. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.